We all know that flying is statistically the safest way to travel. But have you ever really stopped to think about why that is? It's definitely not by accident. It's all by design. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredible, invisible architecture that makes it all possible. We're talking about something called a safety management system, or SMS for short. Okay, so to really get why this SMS thing is such a big deal, we have to wrap our heads around this kind of paradox, you know? It's right at the heart of modern aviation. The thing is, we've gotten so good at being safe that, believe it or not, it's actually created a whole new set of problems.
All right, so take a look at this. What you're seeing here is the accident rate in U.S. aviation going back decades. And look at that trend. Even with way more flights in the sky, the rate just plummets. I mean, it's basically flatlined at these incredible historic lows. That's a huge win, right? But here's the catch. It means our old way of learning, from accidents, is kind of hitting a wall. We're literally running out of accidents to learn from.
So that brings up the big question, doesn't it? If we've pretty much reached peak safety, why on earth would we need a whole new system? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. To get even safer, to push that flat line even lower, we have to stop just reacting to things that go wrong. We have to get ahead of the game. We need to start predicting and preventing problems before they even have a chance to happen. And that, right there, is exactly where the safety management system comes into play. You see, an SMS isn't just another rule book or checklist. It's about fundamentally changing the game. It's about weaving safety into the very fabric, the DNA of an entire organization. Okay, so what is it officially? Well, the International Civil Aviation Organization, that's ICAO, the folks who set the global standards, they define it like this. Now, the key words here are a systematic approach. I want you to really focus on that. This is not some dusty binder sitting on a shelf. No way. It's a living, breathing system that's part of every single decision that gets made. Now, let's clear up a few things, because it's really important to know what an SMS is not. You might think it replaces all the old rules, but it doesn't. It actually builds on top of them. It's not some new, separate safety department that you stick in a corner office. Nope. It's woven into everything. And it's not just for the giant airlines either. It's totally scalable, so it works for a massive international carrier just as well as it does for a small maintenance shop. Maybe the best way to think about it is this. An SMS makes you treat safety just like any other critical part of the business. Like finance or marketing or operations. It's not an afterthought. It's something you manage proactively, something you're always trying to make better, not just something you panic about when something goes wrong. Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? What are the nuts and bolts? Well, the entire system is built on this really strong foundation. Think of it as four main pillars. They're separate, but they're all connected. Let's break down this architecture. So it all kicks off with the first pillar, safety policy. This is basically management saying, yep, we're all in, and here's who's accountable. From there, you move to safety risk management. This is the cool part. It's where teams literally go on the hunt for potential hazards. Next up is safety assurance. Think of this as the quality control, the feedback loop. It's constantly asking, are the things we're doing actually working? And finally, wrapping around all of it is safety promotion. This is the training, the communication. It's what builds that positive safety culture. And see how it all connects? It's not a one-and-done thing. It's a continuous loop, always improving. But you know what? This is about so much more than just a four-part flowchart. At its core, SMS is a huge, fundamental shift in how we even think about safety. It's really the next step in our evolution of understanding why things go wrong in the first place. And this timeline, wow, it just lays it all out perfectly. Think about it. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was all about the machines. Let's make the equipment more reliable. Then, in the 70s and 80s, we shifted our focus to human factors. How do we reduce pilot error? But now, with SMS, we're looking at the bigger picture, organizational factors. We finally recognize that it's the system around the employee, the culture that supports them, that really, truly matters. And this, right here, this is the heart of that mindset shift. The old way of thinking was all about compliance. The big question was always, is it legal? Are we following the rule? But an SMS forces you to ask a much deeper and, frankly, a much more important question. Is it safe? Could this cause harm? And that is a game changer, because it lets you tackle risks that a rulebook might never even mention.
So, a really good, mature SMS doesn't just do one thing. It's actually using three different strategies all at once. It's reactive, so yeah, it looks backward to learn from any incidents that did happen. It's also proactive, it's looking at the here and now, always auditing and checking to find risks. But the most powerful part, it's predictive. It looks to the future, using data to ask what if, and to get ready for dangers that haven't even shown up yet.
Okay, so we've talked about the policies, the risk management, all four pillars, the whole architecture. But what's the engine that actually drives this whole machine? What's the soul of the system? Well, it's not a process or a manual. It's the people. It's all about the safety culture.
I love this quote because it just says it all, doesn't it? The invisible force. That's what a safety culture is. It's this shared belief, these shared values and attitudes that run all the way from the CEO's office down to the mechanic on the ramp and the pilot in the cockpit. It's what ensures every single takeoff is matched by a safe landing.
So what does a really strong safety culture actually look like? Well, it has a few key ingredients. First, you need a reporting culture. That means people feel safe to speak up about a hazard without worrying about getting in trouble. Then you need a just culture. This one's huge. It's about knowing the difference between an honest mistake, which we can learn from, and deliberately breaking the rules. It's also a learning culture, where the goal is to fix the system, not to blame the person. And finally, it's got to be a flexible culture that can adapt when things get weird. And you know what holds all of that together? Trust. It's all built on trust.
And all of this really leads us to a phrase you hear all the time in aviation, and for good reason. Safety is a journey, not a destination. It's so true. It's not a finish line you cross or a box you can just tick off and say, we're done. It's this constant, evolving process, a journey of always getting better, always being watchful, and always, always learning.
So if safety has no final destination, what does the next step of the journey look like? Well, the safety management system isn't the end of the story. Think of it as the blueprint, the architecture for the next leg of this incredible journey. It's the system that's going to ensure that the safest way to travel just keeps getting safer.